Hello and welcome to our Granny Octagon crochet beginners tutorial. These are the tools that we will be using. I have a size G 4.00 millimeter crochet hook, a tapestry needle large enough to fit your yarn through the eye, pair of scissors, and the yarn I'm using 3 separate colors. As you can tell, I've used quite a bit of my yarn because I have made 8 other tutorials on granny shapes. This one will be from Lion's brand, Vanna's Choice, in the color Fern. This one is Michael's Impeccable in the color Butterscotch. Our last one is Red Heart Super Saver in the color White. Before we begin our tutorial, I will remind you to pull some yarn out, so that way if there is a tangle within the skein, it will not interfere with the tension of your stitches and also their appearance. And as before in other videos that I have with the Granny series, I encourage you to have about an 8-inch tail. The reason being is for when we weave, we want to have enough so that the needle can tie in our tails. So let's begin. With our tail in our hand, we're going to make a magic circle. Place it between your finger and your thumb and wrap it around till you create an X. With your hook, aim the hook portion down, go under the first loop and grab out and twist the one that you put over. Then grab the yarn again and go through that loop. Oops, I pulled mine a little too tight too soon. It happens sometimes. There we go. And here we have our magic circle. Go ahead and pull your tail out if it twists, and we're going to tighten this first onto our magic circle. So let's pull our yarn, and there we go. Okay, let's get in. I'm going to show you how to set your yarn up on your hand. This will help control your tension. So go between your ring finger and your little finger and come across your 3 fingers on the bottom. Go between your pointer and your second finger. Wrap it over and turn your hand. This will help control the tension so that your stitches will all look uniform. The section between your finger and the hook is the working area. Sorry, I had to cough. Sometimes the weather changes, it stays hot and then it gets cold, and this is spring. Okay, so let's chain. We're going to be chaining 3 times. We have our loop on our hook. We're going to take our hook and go through the work area, twist it, and come through, and we have one complete chain off of our hook. The loop on the hook does not count as our chain. Let's do it again. Wrap it over, twist your hook down, and pull it through that loop. One more time. Twist it over, pull it down, come on through. Now let me show you, if you were to try and go straight, see, the hook would get caught on the loop, and that's not what we want. So that's the reason why you want to twist it. It's not a strenuous thing. Crochet is actually very relaxing. So in this octagon, we need to have longer stitches. If you've been with me in the other 8 tutorials that I have made, we've always started with a double crochet in the center. Because we're placing 16 stitches in the center, we need them to be a little bit longer than a double crochet, and that next size will be a treble. So for the center only, we're going to be placing trebles into our magic circle. So to make a treble, place your finger on the loop on your hook in your work area, wrap it around twice. Okay, now take your hook and go through the center of your magic circle and back to your work area, and with your hook aiming down, pull the yarn through and bring up a loop. You will have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over and go through 2 of those loops. You now have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and go through 2 more. This is the size of our double crochet, but one more time will make it a little bit longer. There we go. That completes 1 treble. Okay, now this chain 3 that we got here, because we also have our little chain that we started with our magic circle, this is going to be a pretend treble. So this will count as a treble, even though it's not done the same way that we did our treble. It still has the width and it has the height, and that's what we're looking for. In other videos in the future that I will offer, I will show you how to start with a treble or double crochet or whatever the project entails. But for our beginners, we just want to start with a chain stitch. So after we've completed this, most of our grannies has 3, but because of the 8 that we need for the shape, we're only going to place in 2. So after we've done our 2, we're going to chain. So here we have our loop on the hook, wrap the hook around in the work area, and pull it through. We only need 1 chain. Let's go ahead and try it again. We're going to make a total more of 14 trebles. So by the time we get to the end of this first row, you will know your trebles. They're not trebles, they're trebles. Okay, so place your finger on the hook, on the loop on your hook, and wrap it twice, and go through the center of your circle and pull up a loop. You now have 4 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. You can see why it's called a treble, because we pull through 2 3 times. Ready for another one? Finger on the loop, wrap it twice, go through the center of the circle, and pull up a loop. Yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Okay, we have our second set. We have 6 more sets to go. That means we have 12 more trebles to make. We're going to chain 1 between each set. Okay? Now you can slide it over on your magic circle if you would like. Now you also notice here how it's twisting just a little bit. You can untwist it just by pulling the tail through the circle. And then don't forget to put your tension back in your hands. Alright, let's make another treble. Finger on the loop, that'll help control a lot of the tension because you're working with both hands. Go through the loop, come back, pull up a loop. We got 4 on the hook, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Are you getting the hang of this? I hope so. Don't let it frustrate you. If you find that it's becoming hard, stop the video, go back, and we can start again. Okay? Crochet is supposed to be relaxing, not stressful. So we've created 2 more. I'm going to chain 1. Okay, 1, wrap twice, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Alright, I'm going to finish this one, and then I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to stop the video so you can go ahead and complete, and chain 1. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 sets. You need to create 4 more sets at the last set. Do not chain 1. Okay, take your time with it. I know you can do it. And I'll see you in just a second. Alright, so how did you do? I hope you didn't have any problems with it. Okay, let's continue on. I have 8 sets of 2 with a chain 1 in between each set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I'm going to raise my loop a little bit and remove my hook. And then I'm going to go ahead and squeeze the last 2 because we're going to tighten our magic circle. So go ahead and take your tail and pull, 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 pull. Don't be afraid. There we go. And then we'll have a small circle like this in the center. Okay? And our tail, do not cut it. We'll weave it in shortly. Okay, let's pick up our loop, put our hook back into it. Okay, so of our completed chains from our first treble, we're going to count to number 3, and we're going to place a single crochet in. So to do that, we don't need any loop overs. We're just going to insert the hook into the center of the top of that chain 3. And then we're going to go to our work area and pull up a loop. We now have 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through both of those 2 loops. Okay, you also notice too that we have this one here. When we start our next row, make sure you go below that to pick it up as well. Okay, so we've completed row 1. And it should look like a spoked wheel. Okay, let's build on up. Now from now on we will be doing double crochets for the rest of our pentagon. We're going to chain 3, so yarn over, pull through the loop on your hook. Number 2, yarn over, pull through the loop on your hook. And number 3, yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook. Now in the same space that we created when we closed it off with a single crochet, we're going to be placing some more double crochets in here. So to make a double crochet, we got our finger on our loop. We're going to wrap it once and then go below all of that in the center. Come through with the loop from the work area. We have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And go ahead and slide it over. Now remember, the chain 3 will count as a pretend double crochet. Okay? And since we're still low enough, we're going to keep only the 2 for this row. So this is going to be where we're placing 2 sets of 2 into one space, because this will create a corner as we get further up. So chain 1, and in that same space we're going to do 2 more double crochets. So place your finger on your loop, wrap it around, go through the hole, come back with a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Now remember, your little finger can help control the tension so that it's not too loose or too tight. Okay, we want the size of our hook to be the size of our wraps and our chain stitches. Okay, let's try it again. Put your finger on the loop, wrap it around from the work area, go through the space, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. This is one corner, and we're only having the 2 in this corner with a chain 1 in between. Now to move on to our next one, we chain 1 as well. So we skip 2 trebles, and you'll see that we have our another space, and our chain 1 helps designate the opening of that space. We're going to place the same thing we did here. We're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. So to remember how we do our double crochet, place your finger on the loop, wrap it around, and go through that hole. Come back, we got 3 loops on the hook, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. We can slide it over one more time, yarn over through that space, come back with a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, chain 1. Okay, we're going to do this one more time in the same space. Double crochet, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. One more time. This will be our second one. Yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, chain 1. Alright, so let's see what we have so far. You see how our trebles are being separated by the double crochets. We will do this all the way around. So to get to our next space, we have this one treble here, we have this one treble here, and if you separate it right there, you can see our chain 1 up here. So this is where our next corner will go. 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets in this space, and then chain 1, and then you'll skip the 2 and do the same thing. Go ahead and continue all the way around until you get to this space right here where your 2 double crochet or 2 trebles before the last set, and I'll meet you there. I believe that you can do this. And I'll see you in a few minutes. Alright, so how is your grandy looking? You start to see where it's taking the shape as already. Looks kind of like a stop sign. A real small one, but we will start seeing the shape take place here on the next row. We're only doing 2 rows of white, so let's close off this color. To do that, we're going to count our chain stitches. We got 1, 2, and 3. And at that top one, we want to place our hook right into the center. Make sure you pick up your 2 loops, and you're going to get some yarn from your work area and pick up a loop, and then take that loop and go through the loop that was already on your hook. Okay, and with a tail, go ahead and cut your yarn and yarn over and bring it through that loop and tighten it up. Okay, so this is what we have. But before we continue on, we want to go ahead and finish off our magic circle. So get your tapestry needle, and I'm going to show you how to thread your tapestry needle. Place your yarn between your 4 fingers here, and with your needle come up from the bottom and pinch it onto your needle, and then pull the needle out. Here you'll have a little folded section of yarn. Then take the eye of your needle and work over that folded section until it comes through, and then pull it through. And then just have yourself a small tail. And then on the back side, you'll see where our tail comes out at. We want to keep going clockwise. So we're going to go in between the middle of all of these trebles that was right there that went around the magic circle. We're going to come in, and you can start to pull it and see how it made that circle even tighter. And then go in and go around again. I haven't gone 100% around. We want to make one complete wrap around so that you'll have like 2 wraps inside of the treble centers. Okay, so after you have that, we're going to weave backwards, and this will ensure that the tail does not come out. So this first one right here, you want to go over the top of it and then go under and into the center of a bunch of them. Just go back. You're going counterclockwise now. Going over that first one makes it so that it doesn't come back the way you came in. Okay, now we're going to go over the top one. That'll help lock it in, and then go through those center ones again and pull it through. Okay, and that magic circle will not go anywhere. Alright, cut your yarn. The tail that we finished our row with, we will sew that in later. So I'm going to use yellow for my next row, and whatever color you have chosen, be prepared. We're going to start in just a second. Okay, so I will be starting with a slip knot, and as before, I suggest that you leave a tail so that you can weave that in. So to make a slip knot, we want to wrap it around our finger, just the one finger, and go under that one loop. Aim your hook down and pull that loop through, and then tighten everything there. And then make it so that the yarn is snug up on our hook. Okay? Now we're going to take and wrap our hand as we've done before. Okay? Or whichever way you have found to be comfortable. Now we can start in any corner. I want to point out to where the corner is. A corner is 2 in one space. If you pick the one where there's the 2 trebles here, that's not a corner. Corner has 2 in the same space. Okay, so I'm going to pick this one, and I'm going to draw up a loop, and I'm going to take that loop and go right through the loop that was on my hook, and we're going to tighten it down, and we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to slide it over just a little bit. So in this space here, we're going to do 2 grannies, chain 1, 2 grannies in a double crochet stitch. So your finger on the loop, yarn over, and draw up a loop, 2 and 2. Now you may be asking why we're only doing 2. Is because we have so many stitches. If we did 3, it would cause it to ripple and not lay flat. So to ensure it to be laying flat, we're just going to use the 2. And we're going to chain 1, and in the same space, we're going to do 2 more double crochets. There's 1. And there's 2. Chain 1. Alright. Now we're going to make an increase. Our increase, our increase will be in between our 2, where our corners were placed in the previous row. So that chain 1 that's in between it, don't forget them. Here's our corner, here's our corner, and this is what's going to help define the octagon look. Sorry. So in between, you can see the trebles straight down. We're going to place 2 double crochets in this space. There's 1. There's 2, chain 1. Okay, so this is what we have. Can you see the 2 that's in that one space? So we got the 2, and then we got the trebles from row 1, and that's where our increase for this row is going to go, straight up. Okay, so now we're going to twist the block just a little bit, and you'll notice here we got 2 in the one space. So open it up. There's 1, 2, chain 1, 1, 2. So we're going to open it up. We're going to place 2 double crochets. I hope you have the double crochets down pat now, because I'm going to be picking up speed a little bit. Okay, and we're going to do 2 more double crochets in the same space. Now, if you remember from our other videos, we have what is called a repeat, and we've completed 1 repeat. The chain 3 pretends to be a double crochet, but it is not truly a double crochet. So this corner does not count in our repeat. Our repeat starts after the chain 1, and when we complete 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, chain 1, and do our corner. That is a repeat from here to here. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this repeat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more times, and when you get here, I'll show you how to finish this particular row. So let me show you one more time. We have the space that's not in our corner. We're going to place 2 double crochets in there. Chain 1. Now in our next, where we can see there are 2 sets in the one, we're going to skip the 2, double crochets, and in that chain one space we're going to place our corner. 1, 2, chain 1. You can slide it over if you need to. 1, 2, chain 1. Okay, can you see how it's starting to take the shape? And we're starting to go this way now. Okay, at the end of this row you'll actually see more of a defined shape of an octagon. So go ahead and do your repeat 5 more times. When you get here, stop, and I'll show you what to do next. Alright, you can see the octagon look. We have our 1 increase that we need to do here. So let's do that. Do the 2 double crochets in the 1 space. Okay, do not chain 1. What we're going to do is a chain 1 is about the same height and width as a single crochet. And in order to build up, we need to make it so that after we place our stitch in, we can come back so we can add more stitches. And this is why I go ahead and use regular stitches instead of a chain stitch. So count up the 3 chain stitches, insert your hook into the center of the 3rd chain stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and through both of those loops on the hook. Okay. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. You're also going to notice on this row we're going to add 2 increases, 1 and 2, because our 1 in the center, in between our corners. So for this one, let's add 1 double crochet, oops, and chain 1, and I was going to show you my yarn. It started to twist up on me, but it decided not to because it was going in front of the camera. Oh, sometimes yarn has a way of making us laugh, even though it's an inanimate object. Alright, so here we have our 2 sets, or our 2 grannies. We're going to place 2 sets in the center here. So there's 1 double crochet, and there's 2 double crochets, chain 1, and in the same space 2 more double crochets. 1 and 2 and chain 1. Okay, we have not started our repeat, we just went up and we started to go over. Now you'll notice here we have our 1, so we'll have our increase here and here on either side of it, and here's our corner, and here's our corner. Okay, so here's our corner up here. So this is going to start our repeat. 2 double crochets in the chain 1 space, chain 1, skip the 2 double crochets from the previous row and into the next chain 1 space, 2 double crochets. Chain 1. Okay, skip the next 2 double crochets and in the chain 1 space, which is your corner, you're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. 1, 2, chain 1, 1, 2, chain 1. Alright, so let me see if I got it in the right center of the camera there. There we go. We have 1 corner, 2 corners. You'll start to see more of the pentagon shape as you add more on. But here's your 1 repeat, so go ahead and repeat it around. Remember to chain 1 in between the 2 sets of the 2 double crochets all the way around. When you get here, I'll meet you here and I'll show you how to finish off so that we can go on to our next row, and I will change colors then. Okay, as you can see, I have 1 more increase I need to place in. Okay, so to finish this, we're going to count to the top of the chain 3 and we're going to make a slip stitch. Pull up a yarn and then take that yarn and go right through the loop on your hook, and then cut your tail and pull it through. Now, I did want to point out, if yours has a little wobble in it, it'll be fine. It's just you've placed quite a bit of stitches in there, in that one area. That's why I said if you added 3, it would be so wobbly. So that's the reason why we just did 2. But you'll notice how if you just ease those stitches right back in, it will lay flat. Okay, so don't be frustrated with it. Just, you know, hold it from the center and pull, and it will lay flat. Now, as you can see, if I can get my tails out of the way, we do have a pentagon shape, and we're going to define that shape with the next color, which I'm going to be using is green. So get your next color ready and we'll add it on. If you want, load a slip knot onto your hook. I have my green and I'm ready to go, and I'm going to start in our corner, which has the 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets in the same space. And I'm going to insert my hook, pull up a loop, and take that loop and go through the loop that was on my hook. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And in the same space, we're going to do what we've been doing all along. Double crochet, chain 1, and 2 double crochet in this corner space. 1, 2, chain 1. Okay, now for this previous row, we've added our increase. Now we're going to add another increase, because you'll see from this corner to this corner we have 3 spaces. So that means we're going to be placing 3 sets of 2 double crochets with a chain 1, 1 in each space. So this also begins our repeat. 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, chain 1. In our next chain 1 space, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, chain 1. And in our last space, 1, 2, chain 1. That brings us to our next corner, and we're going to place 2 sets of 2 double crochet with chain 1 in between. Chain 1, double crochet 1, double crochet 2, chain 1. Okay, let's get all these yarns out of the way. Okay, you'll be able to see the whole definition here, but you'll see that the pen or the octagon is getting much larger. So now that we've completed one repeat right here, go ahead and complete that repeat as you go around. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, corner, 1, 2, 3, corner. Okay, go all the way around until you come back here, and I'll show you how to finish it off. Wow, this thing is almost so big it won't fit in the camera frame. But you can see the octagon shape that it has formed. Alright, I have completed my last increase, so we're going to finish off this row. From the chain 3, we're going to count up to the top of that chain 3 and pull up a loop. Take that loop and go right through the loop that was on your hook. Cut your yarn and pull it through. Now if you did have some cases where it kind of came up a little bit, go ahead and pull on it, because sometimes the stitches have to work themselves in and it will lay flat. Okay. To finish this block, you want to flip it over, use your tapestry needle, and go in between the corners as I showed you with the magic circle, going over it a couple of times, and then you can cut it. Do that to the yellow, well, whatever colors you have, and finish them off. And then you will have a nice little octagon block that you can use either as a, you could put a vase or something on it, or you can use it in a future project. I will be showing videos on how we can take our shapes that we've done and create projects from them. I appreciate you watching with me and learning how to do this. I hope to see you again in another crochet tutorial in the future. Thank you so much for being and spending your time with me. I really appreciate it. So have a great day and keep crocheting.